Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Obviously, before I start talking about this, spoiler warning. It is in the title. I'm going to warn you a few times before I even start talking about this. This is going to be, because I don't like doing reviews without spoilers because I get too excited about it. That's just me personally. Resident Evil Requiem. First off, let me say this. I beat this game just now within like an hour, not even an hour ago. As we're recording this video, it is February 28th, and got the game at like 10 something yesterday. Installed it, played it off and on because I had other things I had to do. Was playing it last night, played it today, finally beat it tonight. Once again, going to be talking about spoilers. The entirety of this game, first off, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I'm not even sure how long this video is going to be because there's so much to talk about and so much to discuss in other videos that I'm going to have to work on. But let me say this to get this out the way. First off, Jill, Chris, Ada are not in the game. I'm going to say that now. They're not in the game. As I said, before I said that, spoilers. So you guys were warned. Spoilers. So don't start nothing, okay? The entire story, again, yes, Leon and Sherry have been infected with the T-virus from the second game due to what happened to them. Leon is investigating it because of what has been going on. He runs into Grace, who is an FBI agent who goes to the hotel where her mother died, and she finds information that had to deal with her past. Now, the entirety of the game, you switch between Leon and Grace. Grace was a mix of, I would say, for her character, I like Grace's character. She was really a mix between, I would say, Claire with Mia, and Ashley, and Ethan. She was scared throughout the entirety of this game. She was taken. We had to go up against crazy enemies in this game. We had to go up against like a giant baby. We had to go up against this one mutate, looked like a Baba Yadu or whatever it's called. Really big, huge enemy. Could really take you out in like one or two bites. You really had to use your stealth as best you can. With that whole thing, you had to also watch your weapons because it was really hard. I did a lot of exploring. For the first part, you're in what is a hospital with Grace and Leon. With Leon, you're just wrecking fools. I'm just saying, with Leon, you're just wrecking fools. And this is pretty much what I wanted, where you are able to get weapons a lot easier, because there's one point where you just start wrecking them, because Leon was a beast. I mean, he was jacked in this one. He was shredded. He was like taking out enemies left and right and just laying them out. And really trying to investigate Victor, who was the one of the underlings of Spencer, who he was working with him, and he created more viruses so that way he could find a way to get Grace, because there was a new virus or potential virus that his new associate was interested in, and they wanted Grace because, come to find out, she was a clone. We meet someone by the name of Emily who looks just like her. There was other ones made like her. They were clones, and they were constantly trying to figure out what was going to be the best thing to be able to create Elpis, which was a potential virus. And Leon, again, he deals with the T-virus curse, and he slowly starts getting, sick, and we do see that at the very end of the game. He takes on, apparently, one character who everyone think is Huck, who is the Grim Reaper. That is not him, apparently, from what I heard. When you go down to the underground laboratory that was underneath the orphanage in Raccoon City. You do go through RPD as Leon. You go through Raccoon City as Leon. There's a big open world sandbox in this. Going up against zombie enemies of the BSAA, other characters, zombies that survived the rocket launch, which again apparently was a conspiracy by the government in the game to cover this up, because the real thing was what Spencer did and was way under the orphanage. Nobody wanted this to find out because he wanted redemption. And we also see where they're going back and forth, right? So this is one of the saddest things in this game is Grace is about ready to save Emily from this creature, right? Because her and Leon team up. They're finally able to get her out, and you're able to defeat that one girl creature, which is like the Baba Yaduk or whatever. And then Emily turns, and Leon comes, and he just shoots her nonstop, and apparently she's dead. But this was the big kicker. We have a former enemy show up, who is Albert Wesker. Apparently going by Xeon now. Or Zeno. That ain't your name, buddy. We know you're Albert Wesker. And I think he still had from the virus in 5. Somehow he survived. He brings Grace to Raccoon City. Leon follows, and it was nostalgia beyond no end. We have a moment where he goes to Marvin's desk and he says, "Lieutenant Kennedy reporting for duty." You see the pain, the grief, the horror, the PTSD from Leon when he walks into Raccoon City, when he walks into RPD, when he went to Keto's gun shop, remembering what happened. Even though, yeah, he apparently escaped, he saw the skeleton of that little girl and said never again. He tries to save Grace. Wesker takes her, and we have to face Mr. X yet again. Another nemesis. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh damn, here we go. We fight him, and we go deep into the orphanage. We come across another grass type monster. We face that. We go further in. That's when we get into the facility. We try to go after Grace. Leon goes up against special ops soldiers who have been protecting this area for a while, and they even can't handle Leon. Leon takes on this guy, and then finally Grace helps Leon escape when Wesker wants her to put in a code. She doesn't know what the code is. After this part of the game, you have a choice. You either destroy Opus, and unfortunately Leon dies by that choice, by Wesker, and they both apparently die, or you release it, but it's not a virus. It is a antiviral for what happened to Leon and everybody else. So Wesker ingests it into himself, and he becomes human again. He gets taken out by of course, the one that took Grace, and he dies, apparently. And then you have to go up against him as Leon, and Leon takes him down because he became a nemesis. And then you get rescued by the BSAA, and they're the Wolves, that is led by Chris Redfield. And you can hear the one that was, I can't remember his name, the one that was a sniper we had on Village. And he says, "Yes, sir, I'm talking to him right now." So he gets mentioned. And Leon is now cured. And he even says that there's a way we can get Emily back because I didn't hit no vital organs. So Grace goes back to work as an FBI agent. She takes Emily, she adopts her. She pretty much becomes like a mother or an older sister to her, because she's pretty much, they're clones, She keeps in contact with Leon, but then at the very end, we see where these unknown soldiers don't know if it is the associates that was with Wesker go in, and they kill the BSA agents, and they take everything. They're like, we need to hurry up before the wolves come in, which again is Chris Redfield's team. Let me tell you this, guys. This game was insane. I can't believe they actually put this in here to where you had the possibility of killing Leon Kennedy off, which I did not know. I was like, oh, hell, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And you could change, if you choose the wrong one. And then at the same time, they put a amazing bike scene in here that really reminded me of one of the animated movies. I believe it was Damnation or something like that, I believe. And you're going up against wild wolves that are infected, and then you're going up against Victor. Oh my god, dude, this game, I love this game. I love this game. This is how, I mean, again, I love Resident Evil, and I begin to love Resident Evil more as I get older. And they did such a good job with combining the action, the horror, the suspense, the thriller, the drama, the sadness. This right now for me has to be game of the year. I'm going to say it right now. Game of the year for Resident Evil Requiem. I'm going to say this right now. The gameplay was off the hook. Like I said, with Grace, you had that, but with Leon, bro, you were just wrecking fools. You were just wrecking zombies. You go up against zombies. You go up against Mr. X. You go up against that another version of that baby monster. You go up against a plant monster. You go up against all kinds of zombies. You go up against lickers. You go up against wild wolf dogs. Again, what was so cool is going into Raccoon City and seeing just how obliterated it was, and seeing what happened, and then finding out that there was something that happened with this orphanage, and then that something happened with these kids, because one of the missions you're playing as a little girl who looks like Grace, who was a clone. It has to go up against these evil versions of her or whatever. They're bald, they got red eyes, and they can take you out because they're killing all the ones in the orphanage. And come to find out, what I looked up is the one that gets knocked out by employers of Umbrella. She becomes the girl that stalks you in the game as Grace. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow. That it mind boggled me. I'm so filled with emotion right now talking about this with you guys, because this game brought so much, made my heart jump, you know what I mean? And also sadness, concern, because I did not want Leona to die, and I was like, he better not die. And then Grace losing Emily, and then Emily apparently being alive, and Wesker being alive, and I was like, oh my god, you can't believe they did this. And it makes me wonder, and I'm going to put this in other videos, like, did Jill and Claire and Carlos and Ada, maybe Chris, did they get the virus? Did they have the same issue? Because you saw it with Wesker. So it makes me wonder, did they have it too? Which I think they did, but how would they get cured? You know what I mean? Because there was like other ones that died, and there's no mention of Ada. There is, I think, an Easter egg of when she slammed Mr. X with the SWAT van that we saw in RE2. And it was crazy because I just played RE2 right before I played this game. And that was, right before the day before I got the game for Requiem. And I was playing the other games, and I think that helped. So, my best advice for anything, for the monsters, for Nemesis, make sure you have your assault rifle, make sure you have a shotgun, and use your bombs very sparingly when you fight him, because there's a moment where you're going to be seeing, obviously, where you're going to be shooting at Nemesis at the very end, and then you just throw grenades, and it helps with Mr. X. I would say your assault rifle, dodge and parry, and your shotgun. Definitely do that. Upgrade them massively. One thing I really do like is when you play as Leon in Raccoon City, you're able to upgrade your weapons, you're able to increase them with ammo and power, accuracy, the works. And then for the baby, again, there's ways you can kill him as Grace, which you can look up online, but you can just use, it really reminded me of that thing from Blade, where you could just inject them with something, they blow up, so you gotta do it 3 times when he's not looking. Again, it's really easy to do if you're able to get the ingredients for it. And then for the big girl monster, you just gotta time it carefully and use the light to be able to kill it. The plant monster, use your shotgun or use an assault rifle. I'm trying to think what else for the other one before they becomes Nemesis. I would say just use your assault rifle and your shotgun if you really need to. But overall, the designs was absolutely incredible. The environment was very vibrant. It was very scary. It was very edgy, dark. I loved it. Leon was again. He credit to the voice actors, dude. The one who plays Leon, he really was a smart ass yet again in this, because one of my favorite lines in here was, the whole thing of like, I don't give up that easy, or the whole like, well, I do got a question. When was the last time you brushed your teeth? Or like the silent treatment, I hope, so just things like that. And Grace, I hope nobody gives Grace a bad vibe, because I loved Grace. I thought she was a great character. I really enjoyed obviously playing Leon more. I will admit that, but I still enjoyed myself playing as Grace. I think she was a good character. I think that it was very interesting to see how Spencer gave her to her adoptive mother, technically, to try to right his wrongs, because he knew what he did was wrong. And he ended up dying anyway by Wesker. We already know this. So, I think there's a possibility that Wesker is alive yet again. He always is. And will there be another Resident Evil game? More than likely. I think there will be another Resident Evil game. I think there will be a DLC probably as well, going into this mission. And I'm hoping they can expand on it. And I'm kind of wondering, because Sherry was asking Leon, where is Chris right now? And he says, who knows? And he says, and I'm kind of wondering, is he dealing with Rose? Is he dealing with her? Is he working with her? Are they, after the events of Village, for the DLC? I'm kind of wondering if that's the case. But overall, guys, this game, incredible. Lots of emotion, lots of action, lots of dark, edgy vibes to it. Big tip of the hat, applause to Capcom for delivering such a magnificent game. Some are saying that this is game of the year. Some are saying this is the best Resident Evil game, or the top 3 of Resident Evil games. Some are saying, oh, does 5 count now since Wesker's back? But it really made me wonder a lot of things, like does Chris, Ada, Jill, Claire, and Carlos have this virus? Are they, what's going on with them? Chris was obviously mentioned in this game. I was really hoping Ada would be in this game. Some people are trying to say that Claire and Leon are married. I didn't see nothing about that. Everybody's gonna probably go back and forth of, he belongs with Ada or he belongs with Claire, But again, bro, I've seen how Leon is. Dude, Leon's a flirt, bro. Like, Leon is a flirt. Like, he is. But at the same time, our boy like Asian women, so it's like, he's probably like, he got with someone that was of that ethnicity, or he probably got with Ada, because it would make sense. But again, I really enjoyed the game. I was not expecting this review to be this long, but there's so much to talk about, so much to discuss. So, guys, be prepared for more Resident Evil content on this channel. I am so excited to talk about it. I got so many theories right now, and I don't know where to begin. So keep a lookout for that. Let me know what you guys thought about the game. I played it on PlayStation 5. Would you play it on? Did you play it on Xbox? Did you play it on PC? Did you play it on Nintendo? Did you play it on PlayStation? I'd love to know. What was your thoughts of the game? Please let me know. Once again, I did say spoilers, so if you lasted this long, again, there you go. You know about the game, but there's spoilers out there. There's spoilers on TikTok. There's spoilers on Facebook. There's spoilers on Instagram, Twitter, the works. So again, it's your own fault if you watch this. If you didn't want to be spoiled, it is your fault now that you've been spoiled all in the game. But there you go. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you as always on the next one.